Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 2 of Scrum Sesh with me, Benson, and Big Tom.
Tom.
Alright, so episode 2, Tom. Now, this is a quick fact for you, Tom.
Yeah.
95% of podcasts don't make it to the third episode. So,
Really?
I think we should, if we make it at least to our third episode, I think we'll make more. But, for sure. But, there you go.
Well, we're 66 and 2/3% chance of getting to a third podcast. So
exactly.
We're in the right direction.
Exactly.
Hopefully, I've managed the audio a bit better than last time. And
we'll try not to ramble on. We were just talking about that a minute ago. How we spent something like 30 minutes.
I think it was 34 minutes on last week's
previous round.
Yeah.
So we're going to be a bit more sharp. This episode.
More concise.
But that comes with time, so
yeah,
we'll be right.
We'll be right.
All right. So I'll quickly go over the episode contents.
Yep.
All right. So got your casual round recap. So it'll be round 3. Is that correct? Round 3.
Yeah, round 3 last week.
And then we're gonna have a round 4 predictions. And then we're going to have a segment. Now, what's our segment this week, Tom?
Our segment is we've made a list. Me and Benson both made a list. We've got our fullback, 6, 7, and 9. Just our spine, basically. Who we think either underrated or has performed very well in the opening 3 rounds. Not necessarily who is the best player, but necessarily who we think who's performing well in a bunch of teams, who's kind of the standout. Different opinions, but we'll leave that to the end of the episode. So we'll have to go through round 3 reactions first. And I think I'll kick us off. We've got Penrith and the Broncos, 34-12 to Penrith in Penrith. What did you think of that game, Benson?
Well, I think it was a bit expected, wasn't it? Yeah, that's... I think with the injuries and all that stuff, I think I thought Penrith win. I don't know about 34-12. I thought it would be a touch closer, but it was still a good game when I watched it. Not by the Bronx, really, but Penrith showed their class.
For the grand final rematch and all the promotions and stuff leading up to it, they always try and make a big thing out of these grand final rematches. In the last 4 years, any one time Penrith has played... 3 of the other teams have played, they've always made a big deal out of it, whether it's Fox League, Channel 9, always make a big deal. I thought 34-12 was about right, in my opinion, with a lot of the talent missing from the Broncos. No Reynolds and Walsh gone early doors. I think that wasn't it Katoni had to kick? Because
I think
no Reno, no Walsh.
Katoni had to kick.
And he's not a bad kicker as well, so they're pretty comfortable in that regard. I mean, they're not the Roosters who haven't got like any kickers apart from Sam Walker.
Exactly.
But Penrith, they don't show signs of slowing down anytime soon.
No. They look like the same old Penrith to me.
Worrying signs for Nathan Cleary. I think it was in the post game. The cameras showed him in the sheds pointing to his hamstring in front of his dad, one of the trainers. So I think he's got a bit of time on the sideline. So
yeah, he's out for a while.
I wrote it down. I think Cleary hamstrings back till round 7. So that'll be a bit damaging for
3
them.
weeks.
But I think Penrith are a well-oiled unit. Wouldn't you say?
I think they'll still make it through. I think their depth is really good. I think they have the best depth in the league. That's why they're such a good team. That was my difference between the Bronx and the Panthers last season. I think it was just depth. That's what wins you titles.
Yeah. It goes to show after a couple of years, Penrith's still the most dominant team, and they've lost.
Yeah.
Burton, Crichton, losing Luai for next season.
Lanu.
They've lost a heap of talent, but they're still
but
managing
they'll
to
still be
get
fine.
on. Yeah, I think as long
All
as they
right, do you
keep
want to?
Cleary there, they're pretty
Yeah,
locked in for a while.
I think if you have Clear in your team, you're good. You're
Yeah,
always like solid, unless you're New South Wales in state of origin. Can't get it done. You
yeah,
can't get it done.
Mr. Queensland.
Anyway,
Well, you put the
all
towel
right.
up behind you as well. You
I
show the
did.
audience. Got Queensland in the
Can't
background.
really, can't really see it, but you can see the top half of it.
That's
That's
right.
all that
I
matters.
didn't even wear my Broncos shirt. I just put on singlet after the gym today. But anyway,
I'm all set.
we'll move on to the early
The
Friday game.
Yep,
We
Warriors
got
versus Raiders, or the Wars versus the Milk. Battle of the
18-10.
Banner.
Yeah, the
Um,
Warriors win over Canberra. It's Canberra's first loss of the season. What do you think of that game,
and Warriors
Benson?
first win. You know what? The game was close-ish.
Mm.
Um, it was a pretty good game to watch. From when I was watching it. It could have gone either way, and I said that before. I said I could go either way, but I thought Warriors would win at home in Christchurch. That was my prediction, and obviously that's true. Um, it just shows. I think these teams aren't too far apart.
Yeah.
And I think with the Warriors, they just played some of the best teams in their first, couple rounds,
Mm.
and so. Whereas Canberra had a bit of an easier run, and then they versed Warriors now, and they had their first loss. So,
Yeah. I
see how it goes.
Yeah, I have to see. I mean, I think I said it last week, and I think you also backed me up on this, that Warriors and Canberra is going to be a good game because they're probably similar form, I'd say, heading into that
Yeah.
game. Both looking like good start to the season. Not necessarily a bad loss for Canberra. I mean, we'll have to
No.
see how they bounce back this week, but they should be all right. 18-10
Yeah,
in New Zealand, different conditions, I guess. I mean, in Canberra, it's still pretty cold. But I think 18-10, not a terrible score. If you're a Raiders fan, not too disappointed. Warriors fan, you're pretty excited. So that's that
for your
game.
first win at home.
Yeah, I think I also just want to point out one player. I think it's Luke Metcalf, number 6 for the Warriors, is playing out of his skin.
Yeah,
Every time I've watched the Warriors game, he's all over the commentary, and
he's also been
tearing it up.
kicking
Oh yeah,
as well.
he must be, in Warriors fans' eyes, the second coming, pretty much, because he is absolutely tearing it up on field. And I think they've seriously got the chance to go all the way if they avoid injury to Johnson, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck.
Yeah.
Nickel Cockstad's injured, but I think when he comes back, they have a full strength team, and I think Warriors are looking red hot for this season.
And I loved Rogers' try. I think that was just brute. It was just he just had like 2 players hanging on him, and he still got the try down.
That was him. That was him being very selfish and going, I am scoring, and I do not care if you are going to tackle me. I'm going to score. So
now it's Luke Metcalf, the new GOAT. Like, is it not Mark Nichols anymore? I mean, Mark Nichols is obviously the GOAT.
I'm saying Luke Metcalf's the right player, but he's got nothing on Mark Nichols. So we'll skip over that though. We'll go next game: Roosters v South.
When
this,
I saw this
was
I was at a
interesting.
pub, and I was like, "You sure that's the right scoreline?" I was like, look, I could see the Roosters winning this one, but probably not by 48-6.
Yeah, I think.
What's your thoughts on that?
48-6. It was a bit disappointing to see South fall so flat in there. I think after they played the Broncos last week, they didn't look that terrible, so I thought they would have done a little better. I still had Roosters winning over them, but 48-6 is that's 2 points away from being put 50 on them. So
Now it's Rabbitohs making it's way too early, but at this point, I don't like the Rabbitohs' hopes at top 8.
yeah, I just back you up there. I don't think South have got a great chance. Lots of people are calling for South. They've got a bit of lack of kind of going forward and development, I guess. Or not development. They just people been criticising about their roster. I don't really see that, to be honest. I do want to ask you this, because they did hook Ilias, I think. I think if you put Lachlan Ilias in that team, they cannot lose any worse. I genuinely believe that even with Ilias in there, that scoreline wouldn't be any worse. Like,
Oh, yeah, I think actually I like Ilias as a player.
me
I
too.
think he's a good half. I just think they had one bad game and they had the, NRL let's hook the half kind of mentality like the rest of the teams have been doing. But like I don't know if that was the call. Um, you know,
I think they
I
started it
don't like
off. They started it. They hooked Ilias, and then it was a chain reaction to get rid of all the other halves, I think, in the competition.
I
But
know. Yeah, but it was just I don't like obviously they weren't winning this game. We saw that because
yeah,
the Roosters look really strong. But I just I just don't know. I'm just not liking their hopes this season. They're not looking competitive at the moment.
no, I think it'll be a bit of a down period, if I'm going to be honest. I think some of their confidence is a bit shot after that.
Mm.
When you can take it two ways, they're putting Ilias, they're bumping him down so he can build his confidence back up, but I don't think anyone else in that team is gaining any by doing so.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll have to see how South go for the rest of this season. So we'll move on and we'll go to actually a pretty good feeling for Bulldogs fans, 32-0. Although it was against the Titans, keeping a team scoreless brings back the good old days for the Doggies fans.
Yeah, back in the I think they said something like first time since the 90s
Mm.
that they've kept a team scoreless at Belmore.
And it feels like forever since the Bulldogs have put a good performance on and generally showed like they were a dominant team.
Mm.
I think when you look at that team, there's a lot of good players and they're starting to make some connections, but they still need to make a good team connection.
Yeah.
Like they got Blake Taaffe out the back. He's finding some form and he can play. Like when he was at South, he was one of the best players. But I think Bulldogs, good signs. They got a win on the door. Win.
I mean, it's the Titans. You can't say much about the Titans. But in saying that,
a win's
like,
a win.
a win's a win, and the Bulldogs kind of showed that they can, play some good footy.
They've
That's
got
all
them
that
in
matters,
them.
doesn't it?
They 100% they have that in them. They've got Crichton, kick out, Penrith, who are strike players. They've got a good team. They've got, if you look at their roster, they've got some good athletes there. They just need to get it together, and I think with time
They need gel.
They will. They will. Just give them time. You're not necessarily going to win every game. In some games, it may be close, but the Dogs are getting there. Now, the Titans, I think we both sent our condolences to Tino Fasua Malawi. ACL his season is effectively
That's a bit
over.
rough.
Us Queensland fans, we're not particularly happy. I think he's been a great prop, not only for Queensland but for the Titans. When that team's going bad, Tino's always still pulling that team, putting the team on his back and just saying, "All right, give me the ball, I'll take it for a run." So unfortunate to see that, and we do send our condolences to Tino. But I think I'll get your opinion on this, Benson. What does that do to the Titans? I guess mentality and just their forward pack now.
I don't think it does them wonders at all.
No.
I think that's a big loss, especially like they don't have Fafita at the moment, and Tino's like their main leadership man there. Every time I've seen the Titans after press conference and everyone's looking down, Tino's there on the screen, trying to keep it all together, trying to keep the team together. He always plays with his heart on his sleeve. That's why I like him, but I just don't. It's a bad loss for the Titans. If you're a Titans fan, you're not happy about that.
Yeah, and then this week they're coming up against the Dolphins. I think I've just have the team list open on the screen here. Mo Fodawaker and Keenan Polisia are their starting props. They got Khalees Haas, who I'm not familiar with, Bo Famore, and Jamin Jolliffe in their forward pack. Against a pretty stacked Dolphins team. I'm a bit worried for their forwards going forward.
Is it at Dolphins or is it at Gold Coast ground?
Titans home game.
Okay. No, I still, yeah, it doesn't seem that good.
No. So Titans, you might be in for a bit of a long ride this season.
Time of your life.
But we'll keep rolling here. Next game, the second Dragons. Saturday game. Cowboys.
Dragons versus Cowboys. Now, I think
46.
I think we can say for sure that the Dragons, bandwagon run at the start of the season, I think that's out the door now.
Oh yeah. I think I've got. Well, I'll read you this. Cowboys trailed 18-4 in the after 20 minutes. Dragons scored 18 points, and Cows only scored a try. And they and then they go on to lose 46-24. I don't even have to watch that game without telling you that's a defensive issue.
Well, at halftime it was the Cowboys were just leading. So in those final few minutes, they went from leading convincingly to be behind to the Cowboys 22-18.
Yeah, you gotta if you're putting a lead on a team, you gotta at least try and
hold it.
It's just one-way traffic at the end. I mean, I did know they scored, but yeah, it's not looking good for the Dragons at the moment. I think there's a lot of controversy and news surrounding Zach Lomax's position in the team and his contract. I think he wants out, and the club doesn't want him gone. To be honest,
it sounds like a Benny Hunt situation from last season also.
Yeah, I think with that Ben Hunt one, I don't think the thing was Ben Hunt thought he wanted out. I don't think any of the other clubs had the money or the space to have him, but I do think some clubs do have the space for Zach Lomax, and I think he is their main try scorer as well. So if the Dragons lose him,
yeah, sorry, mate.
No, that's all good. So what do you think, Zach Lomax? Is he right to be feeling that way?
Yeah, I think as a player, I think for those players, they want to achieve certain things. He wants to play for New South Wales, just like how if we were playing, we'd want to play for Queensland. And being in a Dragons team that's not doing that well, your chances kind of go down a bit. He may be the best or one of the best players on the team, but if your team's not winning, they're not going to want you in the team. But I was going to say I've heard the Eels could be a contender for him.
And they could definitely use him. Yeah, they could definitely use Lomax, I think.
I think it's not one that wouldn't be a trade where, it's just a team wanting him for depth and Zach Lomax not getting, a lot of time. They actually need him. He kind of fills that role, like you said.
Yeah.
So if they can afford him, I say it's valid. Go full pace ahead. Just the Dragons would probably be a bit, butthurt.
I think some other journalists may be saying South Sydney when they said they looked a bit slow. Zach Lomax has got a bit of speed on him, so that might be able to help them. I don't know if they've got the money. Maybe even Tigers might have some spot for him. I mean, they'll probably throw money at anyone if they can. Other than that, maybe could go up to Redcliffe or maybe I'm not too sure where Zach Lomax would go if he was granted that release and did leave the Dragons, but we'll have to see how this develops. Now,
Yeah.
I'm going to call this the game of the round, not because of the football, because of the bloody feeling. Tigers 32, Sharks 6.
Now, when I saw
Oval.
this one,
I'm going to give
pretty
a
preoccupied.
standing round of applause to
Won't
Leichhardt
stand, but
Oval,
I'll-
not the Tigers, Leichhardt Oval, because I watched that and I could feel the energy. I don't care about the Tigers or the Sharks in any such way. I don't follow them. My God, I wanted the Tigers to win that game. When it was 6-6, when the Tigers scored, I was like, oh, just do it for these fans, because they were so vocal. Every time the ref didn't pick up something, boo. Every time he did, cheer. Nico kicked it out twice in the full. Yes, it was a game that you fantasize about if you were a player, because the fans were just awesome. Did you get a chance to watch that game?
I didn't actually, but I had a mate that I think we both know.
Yes.
He kept on sending me, things every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
He kept on saying, "Look at this crowd." He kept on sending me photos.
Well,
And
I think he didn't text
it was
me
pretty-
because I texted him first to say, oh, they might actually win this, and he just didn't say anything the rest of the night. But I think that was my good, because I texted him first, so he didn't have the chance to. But
Well, I think it was like when they just got into the 20 points to 6, and he like was texting me. He was like, "We're winning. We're actually winning," and I'm like, "You're bullshitting." And then I looked, and they're actually winning. So
they were. I was like, all right, I'm not going to get my hopes up because I have done that
it
before.
looked so much better.
Oh my God.
So much better. And can I just talk about I don't know. There was 2 players, Caesar and Galvin. Now those players looked like they'd played a couple games.
You're
doing?
just getting the one other guy. What's the one other guy who in that Tigers team?
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
think Carousel.
Yep.
Mate, he's been playing unbelievable.
Holy shit, bro. No, that whole team did fantastic in
I
that
know.
game. Appy
But
led from the
those-
front. Buller did massive out the back.
Yeah.
And Galvin, Caesar just looked like they couldn't do any wrong.
For players that young, it's like their second game, and then they're playing like that. That's unbelievable.
Well, I think Caesar's in his 30s, and the rest of the team are barely into their mid-20s. Like Galvin, I think 18-year-old kid paired with Caesar. I think they've good. That's the pairing I'd be going with going forward.
Yeah.
Caesar's good experience, good kicking game. Galvin's that young kid looking for the hole, wants to run at the gap. To be honest, when the Sharks kept making mistakes, Nico Hines bombed it and kicked it out twice on the full.
The pressure
I
got
could see
from
that
it.
their pressure. There was no way they were going to turn that game around. Even if they scored, I thought Tigers have still got them here. That crowd played a big part on it. But I think Tigers, it's a good win for them, and it's a good feeling for the fans to keep their.
It gives them a bit of
loyalty.
hope, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that's all you want. That's all you need. You need one scrappy win, and it was a good win too. So it gives the fans a lot of hope. In the last 2 seasons, when there wasn't a lot, that win over the Sharks is a good feeling.
Yeah, I was just gonna actually bring up one thing. It's kind of related. Obviously a lot of the games this round were suburban footy grounds. There was Tigers. There was the Warriors at Christchurch. There was a couple suburban ground games. And now obviously with the news of the Tigers with their ground, what's your opinion?
I mean, there's been talk, for those who don't know, even though that game at Leichhardt, crazy support and atmosphere, there's been talk that they may be moving away from the ground when that ground has held the two merged clubs, the Magpies and the Balmain Tigers. Oh, sorry, Balmain Tigers. It's a lot in history, and a lot of people are downhearted by it, I guess. I don't see why you would move away. Like, for sure, you need upgrades. Like, I think people are standing in line 25 minutes to get a beer or something. So they need seriously to renovate, upgrade the stadium. And I know there's a lot of political and financial stuff about it. I don't care. Just put some portable dunnies in there. Put some portable dunnies in there. Make sure the grandstands don't collapse. I saw a video. They collapsed at a school rugby game. That's not even NRL with not even that capacity. A school rugby game. Of them all jumping around, a bit hectic. I know. The stands collapsed. That's dangerous. Now, come on, just pump some money into that ground. You're gonna get a return on investment. Seriously, just do it. Like, it is what it is. Yeah. We'll move on. Parramatta and Manly. Parramatta 28, Manly 24. I got my tip right. I'll have you know. I remember last week you tipped Manly. I tipped Parramatta. It paid off. The home teams most of the time do well. But I think.
What's your opinion on the game? Because I watched the game.
I watched most of it, and then I had to go to work, so I didn't get to see all of it. But my opinion on the game, it was anyone's. I think Parramatta had the right to win. Manly had the right to win. I think it was a point that everyone keeps bringing up. Jake Trbojevic ran into the line, and one of the Parramatta players was impeded and couldn't make the tackle. I don't really care, because at the end that's just going to happen. But I think it's a good result for Parramatta. I think they've shown everyone that they're going to have that drive to get it over some of those good teams. Manly only losing by 4 points. Not terrible. They've still got. There's always good signs in that.
It was a first loss, I'm pretty sure.
You can't win them all unless you're Penrith. Yeah. But you can lose the game and still win the competition. So Manly, I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm still heavily on the Manly hype train. I think Parramatta, good performance. Manly, good performance. What did you think?
I think it was a close game. It was a very close game. Like you said, anyone could have it. I just think Parra got away with it. At being at home and stuff. So, I mean, you're not upset as a Manly fan, because at least if this was like, I think you'd be happier with this than being the Sharks with the Tigers. Because you actually feel like you could have won that game probably, but it just got away. So.
Yeah, that's right. Now we'll move on. Last game of the round. In the city of Newcastle. Oh boy, 14-12. Newcastle, the Knights winning over the Storm.
The Storm didn't win that one. I think there was players out. But
yeah, I expected Newcastle to win, even though I didn't tip them. Storm, no Hughes, no Munster. Bit down on troops. I think it was like 14-0 to Newcastle at one point. I was at work, so I got to see a couple glimpses of the game. But I think that's a good outcome for Newcastle. Storm only just unlucky to get the loss. Newcastle still got a bit of an improvement to do, but I think it's a good win for Newcastle. And Storm, I don't think they're taking much from it. But yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, I just. I'm kind of pissed off I got that one wrong.
Yeah,
but like, okay, we gotta take it,
Yeah.
I'm looking now. Kalen Ponga got 6 Dalian points off that.
He's already won it once. I don't really want to see him win it again, to be honest.
Not really, but I don't know about. I just don't know the ranking system. Like that one game when Hammer scored 3 tries and played amazing, he gets 5. Yet, I think did Kalen even score a try?
I don't know.
All he did was kick. So
I don't know. I don't know. Dally M never makes much sense to me. White's never a forward always angers me because they're always the ones working hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it was up to me, I'd give it to Payne Haas or Fisher Harris every single year because they just work the hardest out of anyone. So, but I think out of the game, Newcastle looking good. Melbourne still looking alright. But overall, I think this round, no one's the clear favourite yet, I think. Even though Penrith's looking good, everyone's lost and everyone's won. Except the Cowboys, who haven't lost yet. But it is a fairly good start to this season as a general kind of, as a rugby league fan. Not a club person, but a rugby league fan, to see there's no one team pulling away. Yeah. It is good signs for a good season.
It looks a bit more competitive.
It's always good.
That top 4 could be really anyone at the end of the season. Obviously, you probably think Penrith's going to be up there, but you never know. Penrith might go absolute down in these couple of weeks without Nathan Cleary, which I don't think they will, but we'll see how they go.
And Parramatta without Mitchell Moses, we'll have to see how that affects them this week. Yeah. Or Tigers could go on a run of form and get so many wins that they become the winners of the competition. But I think we all know we have a better chance of winning a fucking UFO than that happening.
I think we'll win the lottery before that happens.
Multiple lotteries, probably.
Yeah.
They give all the money to Leichhardt so they fix it up anyway. I'll go on to round 4, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just read out the games for you. Thursday, Penrith Roosters. Friday, we've got 2 games. Souths v Bulldogs, but then Broncos and Cowboys. Saturday, Super Saturday, Dragons, Manly, then Titans, Dolphins, Warriors, Knights. Sunday, Sharks v Raiders, Eels versus Tigers, and Melbourne Storm with the bye. So we'll get into the tips for this round. Benson, who have you gone for?
First game, you know what? This is I'm looking at this now because I just realised Cleary's not in it. You know what? I'm gonna go Roosters. I think Roosters might edge this one.
I've gone with you too. I've gone Chooks. I think Chooks home game. Penrith.
I'm liking Sammy Walker as well.
Yeah, true.
Lately, I
think Tedesco's got his form. Tedesco's in form. Keary's back in the team.
Well, someone told him that he's probably not going to get the spot for New South Wales, and he's gone, what? Not happening.
I don't see why not. But, Teddy's going to be who he is. He's going to play like an absolute freak. And I think just interchange bench is probably something I want to just point out quickly. For the Roosters, Connor Watson, White, Butcher, Crichton, Angus Crichton, that is. That's the bench. And also, another guy has joined the Penrith family. So, I don't know if you know this, Mark. I think it's Mark Guy on Triple M, Penrith legend. Another guy. I'm not sure if they're related, but another guy in the Penrith team's always good to see with the lineage. But I've gone Chooks over Penrith. It's always good to see. Next game, we've got South and Bulldogs. Who have you gone?
I've gone. You know what? I'm not sure either, because they're both. Rabbits aren't playing the best. But I might actually go Rabbits for this one. I might actually tip them.
It's probably the choice to go South, but fuck being logical, I'm going Bulldogs. Now,
you know what? I could go either way.
Yeah, I know. And Dogs on the ladder are higher than South. I think.
Yeah.
What's it South haven't won a game. Bulldogs have.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Oh, actually, no. I don't think the Souths have even won a game.
South haven't won a game.
I don't think so. Yeah, no. I think they're bottom.
Yeah, so just guys have a look at the team list for South. Yeah, we've got similar sort of teams. Dean Hawkins again at 7 for South Sydney. Jack White's still on the team. Cook in starting 9, which I think is the right move.
I think Cheekham has gone up to the interchange.
Yeah, Cheekham's 14th man. Latrell's brother on the bench. Josh Curran's 16.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
What the hell? Liam Knight is at the Bulldogs and he's starting 10. What has happened? Jesus. Alright, anyway, we'll go on. Broncos v
Next game.
Cowboys.
I think Cowboys might win this one.
I've got Cows too. Reece Walsh out. Tristan Saylor in for Walsh.
I mean, Reynolds is back.
Fletcher
So you could
Baker
pull some
starting at 10. As you said, Reynolds is back.
So I'm just gonna say Cowboys because they're more in form.
Yeah, I'm going Cowboys
and
too.
also the players they have. But you never know.
True. Also, is on the bench. Yes.
Yes.
We love to see it.
He's finally made it.
Love to see
He's
Corey
made
Yates
it
back in the first grade team. We'll move on first. Oh, yeah, back
And
Saturday
Kura
game.
is actually number 18.
Damn. But we've got Dragons and Manly. Now, I think it's pretty obvious. Going here, Manly.
Yeah. I was gonna say the same.
If you, I'm looking at the tipping site. 95% Manly, 5% Dragons. Pretty
Probably the 5%
self-explanatory.
are all Dragon fans.
Pretty self-explanatory there.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be, if you look at the halves pairings between the two teams, actually it's a decent comparison. You got Cherry Evans, Brooks, and then Ben Hunt and Flanagan. You got the sevens, they're quite knowledgeable and experienced. You got the young sixes, still got a bit of a career for them, and they're decent halves who can make a break if they want to. So it'll be a good match up between them. But I do think Manly get the job done quite convincingly there. We'll go on to Titans and Dolphins.
Fins.
Who have you gone?
Fins.
Yeah, I've gone Dolphins as well. I think even though Titans home game,
Just look at the first 4 backs. It's Amar, Sarko, Averillo, Farmworth. And I just, it's going to be quite convincing, I think.
Interesting to see matchup between Jaden Campbell and Hamaso, both young, fast, and deceptive fullbacks. And obviously you've got Tanner Boyd, 7, Kieran Foran, 6. I think Tanner Boyd needs to kind of perform. I think he had a few kind of not terrible kicks last week against the Bulldogs, but he definitely wasn't playing as well as he could. But I think Titans and Dolphins, Queensland Derby should be a decent game, but I've gone Dolphins.
Yeah, I think that's the call.
Sunday game.
And then Sunday game, Warriors versus Knights. I'm going to say Warriors. They're going to win.
I've got Warriors too. Yep. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. In New Zealand, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck back at fullback. You love to see it. Sean Johnson, Luke Metcalf tearing up. Wade Egan in the number 9. Kalen Ponga still doing his
Capewell.
Kurt Capewell's Warriors now. Yeah, and Jack Cogger, number 7, still for Newcastle, which I think they'll keep that. Keep that pairing going for the foreseeable future until they either decide
sort something
Jackson
out.
Hastings is ready or someone gets injured. But I've gone Warriors.
Yeah, I've got Warriors. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Last game of
Next
the
game.
last game. Oh no, second last game of the week. Sorry, we got Sharks and Raiders.
Now, are the Milk gonna get a cheeky win here?
Or will the Shark
Oh,
Tail Cronulla Sutherland Sharks? Will they pull it out? Sharks home
after
game.
last week's performance, like I think the Sharks should win, but after that performance at Leichhardt,
Yeah.
I had very high hopes for them. But I don't know. You know what? It could go either way, but because it's a Sharks home game,
I'll just point
I'm
out
gonna go Sharks.
as well, no Finucane, no Rudolph, and Talakai has been named at edge back row instead of centre. So, bit of a change for them there.
Yeah.
So, you gone Sharks, have you?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Canberra, and only by a little bit though. So, we'll see how that goes.
Same. I don't think it'll be that.
I think if there's any game that we could both be wrong about, is that game.
Yeah.
Because
I think so too.
Sharks could come back firing after a loss. Canberra could come back firing after a loss. We have to see. That's why we got a tip, because you predict what happens. But last game of the round, Parramatta versus the Tigers. Parramatta home game.
No, the Tigers on a run now. Is it Tiger Town?
The Benji dynasty, has it begun?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think they'll improve off last season, but
Yeah.
I think here the Eels will win. I think.
Yeah, I've got
That's my tip.
Parramatta to win. So that's our round 4 predictions. Now Benson. Benson doesn't know I'm going to do this, but my friend,
Oh no.
we're versing in fantasy this week.
Are we?
Yes, we are. Now, I've had to do a bit of chopping and changing with the Cleary injury, and I don't think I have a full team.
Oh no, I haven't had a full team in weeks, I don't think.
I'll just point out, I have one person on my bench who's a hooker, and I've already got a hooker, so I can't replace anyone else, and I don't have a full back 3 in the fullback. So I think maybe let's put a little bit of a wager on this fantasy. How much do you want to wage? $10?
Yeah, that's fine.
We go $10.
I'm fine
All right.
with that.
All right, $10.
See,
We'll
I haven't had a full bench this whole time. Yeah, I've scored the most points out of anyone. So
and I haven't won a game. Somehow I am only third bottom.
I'm undefeated. I'm only losing. Actually, I haven't scored the most points in the league. But I've scored the second most points in the league. Somehow. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you're second, if I'm looking right. I'm 8th out of 10 people that we have in our fantasy.
It was a chop and change this week, though.
Oh my god! Trying to make 3 trades with only 2 is not ideal. Walsh, Payne, Cleary, all gone. It's such a nightmare.
And then Pappenhausen buy round for me.
Yeah, that
So
also
all the
killed
small
me
players.
too. Oh well, we'll just have to see how that goes, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll update you next
$10 is on the line.
episode. But $10 is on the line, so you gotta
God,
wait
I really
till the
need
next episode.
I really need to stop doing this. I might be $30 out of pocket because I've got $10 if I win fantasy, so I could lose that, and I've got $20 if Warriors don't make the 8, which I could lose that too. So if I keep going, I'm going to soon earn up quite a bit of debt. But we'll move on. We'll go to our third segment of the week, and we've hinted to it earlier, we've
Yeah.
got our spine kind of underrated / spine. Who we think if we had to make a team right now, who we would personally put into that team as the 1, 6, 7, and 9. So Benson, do you want to start with fullbacks or?
Okay, so I kind of tossing up between two,
Okay, yep.
but I'll go for the one that's not injured. So
Yeah, that's
I'll go
fine.
I'll go for Teddy.
James
I think he's
Tedesco.
been playing quite well. So you know, I think he's just turned up his game a bit more. So that's my one.
True.
Who's your one?
My number one, I've gone for Clint Gutherson. Now, not always
Okay.
the standout fullback of the round, and it's kind of hard when you've got so many power athletes, but I've gone Clint Gutherson,
Gutherson.
the king of Parramatta, actually. He
Yeah.
is the king of Parramatta who lives in the northern beaches. But Gutho, we've got him. He's always a good player, always takes responsibility, can do a bit of goal kicking if you have a bit of a problem, and he's all a general good bloke, and I think is one of the best players in the competition from Mark Nichols. So that's all right. So that's my one. We'll go on to our number 6s. Now, who have you got number 6?
I got Metcalf.
Well, we're obviously on the same wavelength there, because I've got Luke Metcalf as well from the Warriors.
Between him and Brooksy for me.
I think it's between him, Brooks, and who else? Maybe Tom Dearden, actually. Tom Dearden's been playing quite well. Cowboys haven't lost a game. He's playing quite well. So we're both going Luke Metcalf, young gun, absolutely tearing it up. Just playing out of his skin. I think he can do no wrong. Even in the poor performances, he's still looking like a good player. I mean, if you're looking at him, you can also point out Lachlan Galvin as well.
Yeah.
I think he's only a couple of games into his career, so it's hard to tell, but I think Luke Metcalf
2 games.
had a bit of a longer stint. I'm not sure whereabouts he's been in his career off the top of my head, but I think he's had a few more reps under his belt, just being in NRL teams and such. So I think Luke Metcalf is a player to watch this season as well.
Yeah. Who's your 7?
My 7, I've gone with Jamal Fogarty from the Canberra Raiders. He has been a great player for them. I think he has been underrated since he left the Titans, and he probably copped a bit of flack last year with a bit of injury coming his way, and the Canberra Raiders not doing so well. But I think Fogarty is one of the really good halves in our competition.
Yeah. I've actually gone for Sammy Walker from the Roosters.
That's fair.
When I was watching his game the other night, I thought he played very well. Obviously, it's not just based off that game, but he's gone so much better over the years.
Yeah.
So I remember watching him, and he was chucked between Q Cup and stuff like that.
And Broncos turned him down.
Yeah.
Apparently. I remember when Sam Walker debuted and tore it up. I also remember when he ran from one end of the field to the other to run out the time. You remember that?
Yes.
The defending right end, I don't know what the end was, catches the ball, runs to the other end of the corner to run out the clock, makes it to the other end, and there's still like 3 seconds to go, so he just runs it dead. It is one of the weirdest things I had ever seen. The guy just wanted to see how quick he could get away, I think. It's if
he was timing himself.
It's if Jared was chasing him to see how fast he could get away, but see how that went. Yeah, once again, my jokes don't hit on this podcast, and neither do my comments, but it's all right. We'll go on to our number 9s. Who have you got?
Appy.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Appy, Coruscant. I know you can always make the point for Harry Grant and maybe Reed Marnie, Bulldogs, but I think after that Tigers game, you cannot have Appy Coruscant out of your team.
That's
New South Wales, I think he's already in that team, and they haven't even started thinking about the teams.
Yeah.
So Coruscant for me, goal kicker too. He's multifaceted, can do a lot of things. Tackle, has some great performance efforts on the weekend. So, and also he's got that Penrith system in him. So if you play with some Penrith boys, you'd probably still be able to play with them.
Can't do it at New South Wales level though.
We're talking a lot of this. I've got Queensland having a bit of a shocker this season anyway. So, but
I'm gonna back them all the way still.
Yeah, as we always do, we have a backer. So let's go through them again. So I'll go through my one. I've got Gutho fullback, Metcalf 6, Fogarty 7, and Appy at 9.
Yeah, so I got pretty similar, but I got Tedesco at 1, Metcalf at 6, Sammy Walker at 7, and the big Appy Coruscant at 9.
So those are our spine predictions. Now, I think we can both say, if you had to pick one player this season, you could take one player from any team and you could put them into another team. Do you know who you would pick?
I'd pick someone injured.
Oh, yeah. I put you on the spot here, but I think if you could take... I'll give you an example. If you could take... Let's say, take Chad Townsend from the Cowboys and slot him into any other team, which team would you slot him into?
Oh.
I'll let you have a think. But Ted Townsend played at the Sharks, has won a premiership, and is fairly experienced and has a fairly good kicking game and is not bad defensively. Now, I think he could fit into a number of clubs, Benson. So
I'm gonna say, like, obviously this team's not struggling or anything, but I could see him going in at the Dolphins.
That's a good point. I think the Dolphins could use that experienced half to pair with either Cody Nikorima, Katoa, Sullivan.
Yeah. I just think the Dolphins...
Milford, but nobody likes Anthony Milford, so we'll just skip over that. But, yeah, so Townsend in the Dolphins, I would personally... might put him at the Bulldogs. Now, I don't know if they'd have the cap space for him, but I think even though they've got Drew Hutchinson, I think maybe a Townsend and Burton combo would be good. We're all saying this. I don't think Chad Townsend has any chance of leaving the Cowboys anytime soon. I think he's made it quite his spot up there, and he is definitely playing well to support that. So, but yeah, just putting you on the spot once again. Off the roll.
Thanks,
we're not planning any of this. Second episode, and we've already gone off script, but it's alright. What's your game of the round you're most looking forward to?
I think my game around, there's some decent matchups, but I'm gonna say, I think it has to be the first game. I think Roosters versus Penrith.
Roosters Penrith. Wow. I think it'd be interesting.
I might go. It's probably the Warriors game, even though it's not against the best team.
True.
Warriors Knights.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick South and Bulldogs. Early Friday game, 3:05. That's interesting because I think it could go either way.
Either way.
South could get a win. Dogs could get their second win in a row. So there's a lot on the line for both teams there. But, and obviously you got the original Queensland derby, Broncos and Cowboys. And then you got
the knockoff on.
And you got Sharks and Canberra at the end of the week, which could be, quite good. So there's a lot to enjoy this week,
Titans,
folks.
Dolphins.
there's a few shockers still.
Yeah.
Like Manly, anyone's got Turbo in their fantasy team, probably in for a big week against the Dragons up the middle. But I think, that's going to be us for this week, the Scrum Sesh podcast. We're going through round 4 predictions, reacted to our last round, and given you our spine of the start of the season. Yeah, so we've got everyone who is tipping. Good luck in your tipping, Benson. Benson, any final words?
Get in that scrum, get it done. That's all I say.
Is that going to be our catchphrase now?
I don't know.
No, you can say it. I'm not saying that.
All right, I'll say it from now on.
Yeah, all right. We'll keep chipping away at this. Still learning. Obviously, I hope the audio is much better than last time.
Yeah.
Make sure you're following all the socials. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm starting to lose my voice. Can you hear?
Yeah.
I've been drinking the water throughout this, and I'm still.
Shall we finish it?
Gone.
Yeah. Well, all right. Thanks for watching, as always. And we'll see you next time. This is the Scrum Sesh.
Scrum Sesh.